Government government changed hands for 50 years now. As new presidents come and go, and they all come in and say, "Oh, they're going to do all this stuff," and it rarely happens. And so, actually, what I see is what happens is they change it a little bit. Well, first of all, they can't change much because everything is baked in the system that you can't really change it without passing new laws. And with our Congress, on a 50-50 tie on something, it's hard to pass new laws. And then plus, then the people who are benefiting from the existing programs, they have a constituency up on the Capitol Hill to not change them so they can keep getting their money. So that's right. If you're looking for big changes, and Trump's right that tries to dramatize this, and I sort of call it clickbait because he's good at that. When I watched him first run for president, he just says outrageous things because then he doesn't have to advertise, and that's what I found out doing when I was starting out and selling books. If I dress crazy, act crazy, and everything, I get a lot of TV time for free. I didn't have to pay for advertising. When Trump was doing his first run for the president, that's it. He act crazy. The camera crowd follows the crazy guy, and I'm a product of that. You have to use the media to educate. So what he likes is, I think, the stuff he comes up with. His executive orders are just stuff that appease somebody or whatever, and they're rarely thought through. You could see every day there's nobody thought through about all the implications of all these things. So when they have an order come through, oh well, it doesn't mean this, it does mean that. Nobody's thought through any of these things. They just want the headline. They want the clickbait, like we're going to cut the government. Yeah, well, yeah, they may be cutting a piece of cake. Is about all that they may be cutting. Now here, even on the first grants, public loans grants, and everything are being frozen. Well, a judge said, "No, they can't do that. It's against the law." But they don't care. I mean, they're just interested in clickbait, and that's what I do every day: is think of what headline can I use on YouTube to get your attention, so I could teach you something. So that's what he's doing: is getting attention from people by using clickbait. And at least the clickbait things are the things that his constituency wants to do. It may not be really get done, but it'll cause a lot of stir, and it looks like he's doing something. Actually, if you go back, I did a report here that you can have a copy of, and it tells you the executive orders that didn't amount to much from his first administration, and you could get this for free if you go to uh, BIT. Let's see. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay. bit.ly/Trump executive. bit.ly Trump executive. And just get this report. It's an analysis of his executive uh, uh, orders from his first thing. Remember the wall? Okay. Now, that was probably the biggest thing. And he started on it. Okay. So he got 50 miles of it done. And I don't know if you remember, he was going to get Mexico to pay for it. And that certainly didn't happen. And there's 3,000 miles of border, and he put up 50 miles. And a lot of that was just replacing old fences. So that's as much as that can. But it sounded good, right? And that's what it is. It's that clickbait thing. So on the border wall, here's another one: reorganizing the executive branch. Okay. The agency submitted proposals. Most plans were not implemented. You're going to reorganize it, but it never was implemented. Here's another executive order: promote energy independence and economic growth. The initiative faced legal challenges and required lengthy administrative processing, limiting any immediate results. So he said he's going to do all this stuff, but it couldn't do it. Okay. Here's another one: Advisory Commission election integrity. Election integrity. The commission started in 2016 and ended in 2019 without producing significant findings. Nothing happened. Here's another one: public safety in the interior. Courts ruled against the attempts to disrupt federal funding from sanctuary cities. So you wanted to do that? Couldn't do that. That didn't happen. Executive order: a nation from foreign tourist entry. Okay. Parts of the order were blocked by courts, leading to multiple revisions and delays. Executive order strengthening American Buy American and Hire American. The order already reiterated existing policies. So he was starting something new that we already had, so he didn't have to do that. Uh, the executive order task force on crime reduction. Critics argue that it duplicated existing efforts and failed to produce anything meaningful. Okay, so see, that's just 10 of them. There's another one on trade. Uh, Limited tangible results came from this review, as many trade details remained unchanged. Nothing happened. So that's what I mean. So don't get too excited. But see, but I think the exciting part is everybody thinks the government doesn't have money anymore, or they're not going to hand it out. That's crazy. They're going to hand out more this week or this year than ever before in the history of the United States. It just maybe there's a couple programs that maybe they could drag it down a little bit and it won't come out as fast as it should. But it's still there, still going to do. But what happens? You're going to have less people applying for the grants. Now, here's the amount of grants that come out. Okay, it's $4.8 trillion dollars. $4.8 trillion. Okay, now on direct payments of that. See, he's also in and nobody knows for sure what these things mean there or the implication. But 90% of that is direct payments. The grants, see, there's two kind of grants. There's grants, and that's $800 billion. And then there's direct payments, which is $4 trillion. Okay, direct payments, from what I read so far, are not going to be stopped, or they can't stop it. So that's already 90% of all the grants. See, it's not even called grants. So you have 90% of all. Oh, actually, it's 20%, right? 20% of all the free money the government gives out is not even called grants. You hear that? 20% of all the free money the government gives out is not even called grants. So don't say, "Oh, they're not going to give out any more money." That's nonsense. And if you, uh, but if you haven't been like me studying this for 50 years, it would make sense to you because the president said so, right? But beware, okay? So it's all that. Now that means you have to still go out there. Now, here's a listing of the best places to get free grants now and forever. Okay, and so maybe it'll change a little bit. Somebody's worried about the job, and they shake up people and get scared, and they're not sure what to do, and then it settles out. And we go back to mostly the same. But the money is going to give out. They have to give out that money one way or another. And maybe they're going to piss somebody off, but 90% of it is getting out there. Okay, here's where you go. These websites. One, these are the websites. The what is it? 9 websites that you could get money, no matter what Trump says. There's lots of money. HUD.gov/counseling. HUD.gov/counseling. That's for debt, credit, rent, and home buying. Findhelp.org. See, everything I'm going to tell you is either going to be a .gov or a .org. Findhelp.org. Any kind of living expenses. There's over 3,000 nonprofit organizations in your zip code that gives out money for living expenses. Okay, and he hasn't touched any of those things. Maybe a few, but man, there's just too much there. Okay, for jobs, career, and job training, all free help. They're not consultants that are going to charge you or training programs that charge thousands and thousands of dollars. No, these are free. Go to careeronestop.org. Needy men. Something like 90% of the people who don't have healthcare coverage are covered under an existing program. Here's where to find out about those. Needymeds.org. Org. Remember that. Okay. Here, help for seniors. Okay. If you have a senior, taking care of a senior, you call this hotline number to find out local help to help take care of senior, pay for expenses or pay for care, things like that. 800-677-1116. 800-677-1116. Veterans and veterans families. There's a lot of money here for everything from housing, education, paying bills, get a car, all this kind of stuff. Okay. And you call 888-777-4446. 888-777-4443. Did I say six? Three. 888-777-4443. That's for veterans and their families. Okay. Forgiveness loans. I'll give you a lot of loan forgiveness out there, a lot of money. You call this organization. It's studentaid.gov. Go to that website, find the 800 number, and wait on hold to talk to somebody. The best way to get grants is you talk to the people giving out the money. You don't go to the website. You don't go to and Google. Definitely don't go to Google. That is a kiss of death for never getting a grant. You only want to go to people that are .gov or .com. Oh, wait. And 40% of everything in our economy is giving out grants. That's right. 40% of everybody in our country gives out grants. That's right. Now, they're not in Google, though. These are government offices or nonprofit organizations, like your firemen. Okay, they come and they put out your fire for free. They don't ask you for a credit card. If you go to Google, they ask you for a credit card first. So you have 40% of our economy never asks you for a credit card to give you money. To give you money. That's right. So let me help you do that. By the way, it's best that you have a laptop and try not to do this on your little iPhone if you have that. And we give out 30 free laptops every month to members. A laptop so you can apply for grants easier and make those phone calls. Remember, make those calls. Call. Remember, it's all about calling, and that's important to do. And call me irresistible. And we're at leskohealth.com, and what we have there is 15,000 members who are community where members help each other get the grants. They just got to read, they show you how they got it, and they you can ask them questions. It's live people uh, online with Zoom calls. Click right in and ask questions, and then watch other people and how they got the money, things like that. Hocus pocus, but it takes work on your part. And if you're not willing to do the work, you probably won't get much. Okay, so you have to follow up, call people. And the best way to do it is the phone.